Hi, everyone, and welcome back to our Advancing Your Business, Your People, and Your Legacy conversation series. My name is Kendall Rawls. I am the Director of Development with the Rawls Group, your host. Loyd Rawls, a succession planner with the Rawls Group, along with Brian Brueggeman, a senior manager, and Ed Reinhard, a partner with Crowe, have been discussing the CFO's role in succession planning. This episode focuses on succession topics unique to a CFO, forecasted tax flow concerns, credit continuity, or what if the owner is not interested in discussing succession are just a few of the unique concerns discussed in this episode. Loyd, will you share what succession topics are unique to a CFO?
Well, that's a good question, Kendall. It might take a glass of wine to figure that one out. But I would certainly say what is the forecasted cash flow concerns unique to a CFO? What are the credit continuity concerns unique to a CFO? What would be the impact of having a lien on the business from the IRS? And in some cases, what would be unique to a CFO, well, not unique to a CFO, but very complementary to a CFO, is what does trust, ownership, and management of a business look like? As I said, most CFOs have experience. This is not their first rodeo. They've been on this pathway of progression for a long time, and they've been exposed to situations where a business has been dropped into a trust and they have felt the inefficiencies, the awkwardness of having an organization led through a trust. And there are other ones too that might relate to the retention of key managers, but I'm not sure they're unique to a CFO, but they're very, very important to you.
Thank you, Loyd. Brian, CFOs are in a unique position as they are dialed into financial and performance metrics, as well as aware of the people and succession issues impacting the future of the business. How does a CFO deal with an owner who does not appear interested or motivated to address succession, especially when it could protect his or her earnings and lifestyle, and or on the upside, grow and enhance the lifestyle?
That's a great question, Kendall, and I'm sure it's one that Loyd probably hears way too often. I know that when we bring this topic up to some of our clients, it can definitely not be an easy subject to cover. And you know, you'd also probably be shocked by the number of times that we hear, "What do I care? I'll be dead." You know, which is obviously a kind of probably not the best answer to have. But obviously, it's hard to confront your own mortality, and you know, it's not fun to tell a family member or a trusted employee that they will not be taking the reins as your replacement. Still, obviously, this can be a little bit selfish and dangerous not to address this topic and issue. The best way to control what happens to your business, you know, and in many cases, your life's work, is to take the proper steps to execute your plan. Even if you might not want to anger your family or other employees, it's better to handle it now and discuss it with them than leave it for the lawyers after it's too late.
Thanks, Brian. And Ed, how does a CFO who was hired by the existing generation of owners earn the trust of the upcoming leaders and owners?
Thank you, Kendall. That is a big and real challenge, let me tell you. So how do you earn that next gen trust? You know, I hear a lot of times, you know, and I hear it in my business, you were my dad's CPA, you know, and I'm sure the kids sometimes feel, you know, you're my dad's CFO or SFO, and, you know, your interest or style doesn't align with mine. I want to grow and grow more. And, you know, my dad was too conservative, and you don't know how to do that. I want to leverage, borrow more funds. You know, dad was too conservative. So, you know, at the end of the day, I think they just got to start and build it every day. And if they can keep pecking away at it and making the next gen look good and feel good and successful, that's the best way I know to do it. And thinking about it, being a parent of two, what do I want? I want my kids to be successful. So if you're making that next generation successful, the founding father or mothers would be successful. Plus the individual or that next gen would feel really positive and good about it. So it seems like there's like a double win there. And they'll earn the trust. If you have great ideas, share them with the next gen so they can share it with the organization. Maybe, you have to try to help them along and learn the business and learn the nuances. So I think that's a very important part of this. And, the other thought is financial performance a lot of times tells the story. And if no one's better in an organization than a financial officer to understand where you're improving, what the trends are the organization having consistent profits, increasing profits, what are the industry trends? So compile that and maybe share it with that next gen and make them think that way and train them and coach them up and, be their coach or their mentor. You can earn their trust that way. I think it's also critical that you win the people in the circle of the next gen. So if they have a corporate attorney they're really close to, or an estate planner or whoever that might be, make sure you win that person, because they'll whisper in the next gen ear, hey, this fellow's doing a really good job. He did a great job for your dad all these years. He's thinking about you now. Look what he's bringing up. That will go a long way in this process, in my mind. Another thing I think that is really critical and important is just trying to be in the mindset of, I'm not just the financial officer, I'm the trusted business advisor to the next generation. And, Loyd often refers to, you can be a compliance advisor or a reliance advisor. Well, trusted business advisor, reliance advisor, they're the same all in one, but that's a pretty high space to work in. Brian and I, we don't want to be the auditor. Some people might even say, would take that as a insult. We want to be in that TBA space also. And so if that CFO or financial officer can get in that space and play in there, make the son or the daughter, the next generation successful, they're going to be pretty tied in, I think, and it should be a real successful transition. That's what I had, Kendall. Back to you.
Thanks, Ed. And Loyd, to round out this topic, how does a CFO protect their career path in the midst of succession discussions and ownership transitions?
Well, to add to what Ed said earlier, I think strength in a position as a CFO is not about dark 30 to dark 30, 5-6 days a week. It's not about all the job. It's also about relationships. It's about being able to relate to the owner, being able to relate to his kids, being able to relate to the key managers. That's going to take an effort. That's going to take stepping out of your technical box and spending some time that's not all about business with these other parties, and letting them know that where your heart is relative to the future of the business, learning where their heart is relative to the future of the business, and letting them know that you're a team player and that what you want to do is make other people around you successful. Now, if that is your goal, you're going to be very, very popular and you're going to be a valued member of the team. Now, if that's not your goal, irrespective of what you say, they're going to figure it out. So in some cases, you may just want to make sure that you're thinking straight, and that is that you're making everyone around you more successful. And if that's what you're doing, there's going to be no question about your role in the future of this business. It's not just a CFO's role is not just at 8 to 5, dark 30 to dark 30, there is a relationship component. That relationship component allows you to then be in a reliance role, and that allows you to then impact the succession planning process.
What unique insights offered by highly experienced advisors. This was the last episode of the series focused on CFO and their role in succession planning. Start from the beginning and hear the full discussion. Do you have a question you want to discuss with an expert? Feel free to reach out directly to Ed, Brian, or Loyd at the email addresses listed on the screen. Want more information on Crowe's CFO forums? Contact Brian Brueggeman. Continue listening to the series now or come back for more. Each topic featured may want you to learn something new.